Hey everybody, this is Pocket23. Today we're going to be talking about our first jobs. This is a first of a 3-part series starting with our first jobs to our worst jobs. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. All right. So basically we're going to go around the table and we're going to talk about our first jobs, and then I have some questions about those. Do we want to go clockwise or counterclockwise? Who wants to go first?
That makes no matter.
All right. What's your first job?
So when I was 13 years old, there was a position open for a paper boy in my neighborhood.
Paper boy. What is a paper boy?
Oh, shit. I
Paper
screwed that
boy.
up one time.
So
You didn't have to bring your parents with you back then? Like a kid could leave the house on their own back then? Is that what you're telling me?
all on their own.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you could ride a bike around a neighborhood and not get stolen.
That's crazy.
Not just the bike, the kid too.
Yeah, nowadays, as soon as the kids are in the house, you lock the door and you put them in front of an iPad, and that's it.
That's it. It's good parenting right
Exactly,
there.
right?
Yeah, that's babysitting.
Nowadays, if you let your kids play outside, they bash you for being a bad parent, for not taking care of your kids,
You're
right?
not watching your kids. You're getting rid of them.
Exactly.
By
Right.
sending them outside to play.
Right.
My dad not only kicked me out in the morning to go play with the other kids, he would leave. I would come home, the door would be locked. I'd have to eat dinner at my friend's house. And then he would come back later and he'd be like, come home,
Time to come home, son.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, when the firehouse would have a wah in Watch Hill.
Right.
And that was our sign that we had to go home.
What was it, 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
6:30,
Oh, yeah.
7
Yep.
o'clock. Yeah.
Like when my dad was a kid, they had the bell, right? Ding, 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 ding.
Time for dinner.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, so I had 22 houses in the neighborhood that I did. And the Westerly Sun was kind enough to sell me a money bag and a bag to carry all the papers in.
So how do you get
Sell
paid?
them to you or give them to you?
Sell them to me.
So
Nothing in this world is free.
So how do you get paid? You get paid by reselling the papers?
Right. So they would charge me 90 cents a week per customer for the paper. And I would turn around and sell it for $1.20.
Okay, but it was up to you to get the subscribers.
A little bit of both. So if someone wanted the newspaper, they could see me delivering the papers and be like, oh, I would like the newspaper, and I could notify the Westerly Sun. Or the customer could notify the Westerly Sun themselves that they would like service.
If you think about it, that's a pretty complicated job for kids. I mean, that's a sales job. So
Exactly.
you had to keep books, right? You had to keep your customers' addresses and all that.
Absolutely. I had to have a ledger of whether they paid or not.
Were there any bonuses, like if you had over a certain amount of subscribers, or could you get like a discount on the papers?
No, it was a flat rate, 90 cents a week, and we're selling it for $1.20 a week.
Did you have like
have to roll them and then throw them, or would you bring it up to the front door?
So every customer
had their own way.
had their own way of wanting the paper. Some of them wanted them in the mailbox, and back then a lot of the mailboxes had hooks for the newspaper. So you just put the newspaper in the hook where
so
the
you were just
mailbox
running down the
is.
street like the Nintendo video game, knocking out old people and kids.
Oh my God, that game was great.
That's
It's probably nothing like that.
That's total fiction.
Total
Damn,
fiction.
Nintendo.
So some people would want the newspaper put in the door. So you'd open up the screen door and put the newspaper in.
Oh, wow.
That could be dangerous in the summer because a lot of these households had dogs. And the dog would be like chasing at the door as you like meekly tossed in the newspaper and shut the door as fast as possible so you didn't get bit,
Did you have any problems with, like back then for newspaper thieves? They would come and steal your papers, and you would get blamed for not delivering the paper.
No, that never happened.
What about, did you ever get bit by a dog?
No, but this one guy had a Doberman Pinscher. And
Oh, man.
I don't even know how he read the paper because I'd barely get the paper through the door, and the dog would just attack the paper and just like he'd act like it was a bone basically, and just
man.
start going to town on it. I don't know how the guy ever read the news. Finally, like 2.5 years into my 3-year job.
You
the
did
guy
this for
was
3
like-
years?
Yeah, I did it for 3 years.
Wow.
The guy was like, maybe you could just put the paper in the mailbox.
So what did you do with this money? This was like, did you get an allowance from your parents?
So yeah, my parents probably paid me like $5 a week to do like household chores, like take out the garbage, maybe mow the lawn, whatever. Maybe I got up to $10 a week. I don't know.
That's pretty good.
Right, but I was making about $13 a week on my paper route. So that was definitely my primary source.
You didn't do
of
like the
income.
Calvin and Hobbes type thing and throw a steak out so you can get past the dog to deliver the paper?
I should have. If I could afford that, I would have. But there was a few households like that, so that was a bit nuts.
Do you still know any of these people that you delivered to back then?
I haven't spoken to any of those people in probably several decades.
You think any of them are still around?
Sure. It's the neighborhood's getting older, just like we are. I'm sure a lot of those people have passed, but there's still some people that live in those old houses still, I'm sure,
It might be kind of funny to like have this prank, put you on a bike, and then have you deliver.
Right. See if anyone remembers me. Remember me?
You're still doing this job?
I'm back.
It pays better than my old job.
I need my $2. My $2.
I was away for 42 years, but I'm back.
You could knock on the door and be like, by the way, you still owed me $2, but with interest.
That's going to pay my rent for like a month with the interest of that paper.
Right.
So SDR, what was your next job?
So my next job was working at McDonald's. I turned 16 years old, and I decided I needed a real job that paid me more than $13 a week.
So were you the fry guy?
Because I wanted to buy cigarettes and marijuana, basically.
Makes sense.
And I couldn't afford all that on $13 a week. So I worked at McDonald's for 3 months. They never put me in charge of the fry later.
Never? You never got to be the fry guy?
I worked at McDonald's for 3 months. I never made one French fry.
Oh, bummer.
Did they fear you would hurt yourself? Is that what it was? Or did you have to be elite?
Yeah, that was for the the veterans that worked there. You had to have at least 9 months of flipping Hamburg experience before they
could do the fries. But maybe you dodged a bullet there because, I've seen them have to clean those things, and that looks pretty nasty.
Right, I'm sure it was.
You drop your finger in there by accident or something, you're gonna make that into like a chicken fry,
right.
whatever that new thing they have.
That's right. Well,
that might be a burger.
They don't call them chicken fingers for nothing.
Oh, boom! Give me the boom, chump.
So back then, did they have did they make you watch like training videos for every single station that you went to?
No such thing as a training video back then. So this is
had,
like back in the summer of 1984. I would say.
So was a guy have a mullet that's teaching you what to do or what?
Exactly. Yeah.
What was his name?
Yeah,
Leroy.
So basically, I more times than not, I ran the quarter pounder station. I would make quarter pounders. I would dress the buns, and as a side job, they would put me in charge of nuggets, fillet of fish, and the chicken sandwich.
So you were in charge.
Chicken sandwich.
So you were in charge with it after it came out of the fryer. Like you couldn't fry it, but once it came out, it was all yours.
I would put the fish and the chicken in the fryer.
So you couldn't do the fries.
But I couldn't do the French fries. That was like a whole separate station and a whole different group of people.
Oh,
I think
Jesus.
I think the people that were working the drive-thru also made the French fries, but none of the people that worked the back of house made the French fries. Oddly enough.
So were the reason for that is because like were the fryers at different temperatures or something like that, or?
I just think maybe the location of where the fry later was. It was very close to the drive-thru window. So I'm guessing that the people that were either working at the drive-thru or the people that were waiting on customers at the front of the house, or the people working at the pass, the setup was different back then than it is now, for sure. But the people in the back of the house never made French fries, ever.
So is it true that that McDonald's microwaves the burgers?
Back then they didn't.
No, back then they actually made the
burgers.
Had a grill.
They had a grill.
They had a grill, and it was intense. You would put down 8 quarter pounders, and a bell would go off. When the bell went off, you flipped them. Okay, so once you flipped them, you had to take the quarter pounders that were already flipped and take them off the grill, put them on the bun, dress the bun. Meanwhile, you had to move the quarter pounders that were already on the grill over, and you had to lay more out. It was a really intense job. When they wanted quarter pounders, they would call it on the turn. Keep them coming on the turn. So all of a sudden, that would be like your lunch hour, your dinner rush. You were like, it was hard to keep up. You were so busy. You could barely do all that, flip the burgers, get them off the grill, put new burgers on, dress the buns. Meanwhile, people are barking out orders for chicken McNuggets, and someone wants a special order on a fillet of fish. Okay, you're losing your mind back there.
So nowadays,
What did they want on the fillet of fish? Extra tartar sauce?
Extra
and
freaking tartar sauce. I'll give you some tartar sauce on that fillet.
so did you guys get so dinner rush is coming, right? Did you
Right.
did you like
Did you
create,
prep
like,
for it?
Yeah, did you prep burgers for
Okay,
it?
so back then you could only keep a burger basically on the pass for 20 minutes, or you'd have to throw it away.
Oh.
And how many did they actually throw away, and how many they
Well, it
didn't?
depended on the time of day. So
Did you have that boss who was just like, just use them?
Well, no, because the boss.
Well, I don't know. Someone worked the pass. That was like a job of either the manager or the assistant manager.
Oh, so you weren't working the pass?
Oh no,
Yeah.
you had to be a high-ranking McDonald's official to
Go
work
to
the pass.
McDonald's University.
Yes, and they would bark out the orders to the back of the house of what they needed. Okay, we got a special order coming. Boom, they would give you a ticket, literally written with the special order. Okay, no pickle on this hamburger. Okay, no ketchup, no mustard. And you wouldn't believe when it gets so busy, you get these special orders coming in. You wouldn't believe how often, because you're just working as fast as possible, how many times you would forget about the special order. And
The people would get so bent out of shape.
Right. And they would have to wait a whole extra round before they got their special order.
Yeah, they have to go back through the drive-through, or like when they forget and don't give you a straw.
They put
and you got a milkshake, and you're like, "What the frick do I do with this now?"
Right. You're at the drive-through and they give you the hat, the dreaded hat. You ever go through the drive-through at McDonald's back in the day and your order wasn't ready, and they would give you like a cone to put on top of your car, and you would just
I never knew that.
No, I've never heard it.
So
Now they just tell you to move forward.
right. Well, now they have numbered spots for you to pull into.
So they just-
But back then you would get a cone.
They was
Okay?
hand it through the window to you, like, here's your
Right,
cone.
right.
It's like the dunce cone they put on top of the car.
That's exactly what it was, a dunce cone. And you pull over to the parking spot with a dunce cone on, waiting for your order.
Some dumbass.
I never knew that.
Some dumbass forgot to get the fries right or something. Oh my god,
That's hilarious. That's
Yeah.
kind
Hey,
of embarrassing.
what about the onions? Like the onions, I'm not an onion fan at all. But I will eat the onions on a McDonald's burger because they're like sweet onions.
So there's
How
two-
did they make them?
There's two types of onions, and they all
Okay.
come pre-made.
Ah.
There's the
little chips that you
little
put
chips.
on just a regular
right
burger.
that come in basically a little
block.
bin, right? And you put the bin into this other bin, and then this is the gross part. Back then, there was no like standards, so you would literally take your bare hand, put it into the onions, and dress the hamburger. No
With-
glove on your hand, no nothing.
What?
Right.
Oh,
so,
man.
Right. This is why fast
it-
food probably has a horrible reputation.
Did it say employees must wash their hands in the bathroom?
Probably not. Probably
Oh,
not.
Man.
So you're dipping your hand. The same hand that went into the onions also went into the pickles. Also, the grossest part was peeling the cheese off the block. So the cheese would come in these big blocks, okay? And you would have to peel the cheese off the block.
with your hand.
With your bare hands, and sometimes you know
gets in your knuckles.
If it was it's very hot in the kitchen, so the cheese is starting to melt onto each piece. So you would have to like dig in with your fingernails
my
to
God.
pull the cheese off and stick it on somebody's hamburger.
Oh my god.
See, that's why out of sight, out of mind is so important. If you don't know what you're eating,
Right. Back in the day, you did not want to eat McDonald's, truly.
Wow.
I'm sure the sanitary conditions have improved dramatically since I started working there.
So they call
probably
it-
shortly after I left, they're like, dude, they're like, that was the grossest experience we ever had hiring that dude. Did you see how he would handle the cheese? He would just stick his freaking fingernails right into the block. You could see my fingerprints in the next piece of cheese.
Jesus. We
All
found
right,
you.
so-
One of the customers gets murdered later, and the cops show up. We found your fingerprints on the scene because it's on the cheese. You obviously were pretty close to them because you had your hands on their food.
Right. Your DNA was all over their burger.
It was on their lips. We know you were having an affair.
Oh man. All right, so that's a McDonald's story.
Was 16 was the youngest they would hire at McDonald's
yes,
back then?
yes.
Now they got like 14-year-olds there.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's conditions if you're a 14-year-old working. you can't work alone. You can only work so many hours a week, and you can only work until a certain time frame.
And I think they only work the front. Like, they're not allowed to touch anything in the food part. Like, I only see them working in the bagging part and the register.
I see them in the drive-through.
Well, yeah, but I don't see them making the food itself, though.
No.
At least I haven't.
So here's another question. Did you ever see Ronald, and did he come into your McDonald's? And
That is disgusting. This is a PG-rated
And you're
podcast.
talking about Ronald Cumming?
Yeah, in the back. Did he come into?
What the fuck is going on
I
here?
cannot believe you would bring that up.
No, I meant.
Wow.
I feel dirty now. You know.
So this is more disgusting than my cheese story.
That's not what I meant. I
This is a
meant.
special sauce. McDonald's.
That's what we would put on the Big Macs.
Remember when you closed tonight to leave out a bin? McDonald's coming by to fill it.
No, guys.
You know, that's why they only let him out at certain times. He had his own office in the back. It was right next to the sperm bank.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, did Ronald McDonald ever show up at your location? Did you
Unfortunately
ever-
not. Unfortunately not.
You never got to meet the man?
No, I always
about-
wanted to meet
what
the
about-
Hamburglar.
Yeah, what about him?
That's
or,
my dude right
Did you
there.
get to meet any of them?
Hamburglar.
or Grimace or anybody? No one showed up.
No characters.
Where was this?
You didn't have
What
any.
town?
Right in Westerly.
You didn't have
right
any.
here.
You didn't
Was
have
it in
any,
the location it is now?
Oh no, McDonald's used to be across the street from its current location.
You guys didn't have any
It
mascot
was
uniforms?
It was actually across from like Cumberland over there.
Yeah, I think where the pet store is now.
Yes.
is where McDonald's used to be.
Right. And then when they closed down Two Little Fish, that awesome seafood restaurant here that's out on the beach.
Two Little Fish. That's where the McDonald's used to be.
Yeah,
exactly.
They took over McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically,
That's
they
exactly
just
what
took
happened.
over your fish frying duties there.
They did.
You got the resume for that job. You should call them.
Yeah, they're still frying fish in Squamicut.
I know all about the fish fry. Extra cheese.
Yeah, right? With lots of tartar sauce.
And a Big Mac special sauce. Thanks, Ronald.
Do you know why McDonald's has the fish sandwich?
Why?
For
It's Friday.
Yeah, because for religious reasons.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes
Yep.
sense.
On Fridays, they can't eat beef.
Yep.
So they eat a fish sandwich.
So it'll forever be on the menu, even though it's the least selling thing that they got.
So I just want to make a quick note. We just got to move on because we have other jobs to talk about. We talked about the McDonald's. So what's your third job? And then I'll put in some of mine.
All right. So
This one we only got to talk about first job. Best, so we can go first job and then best job. Because the next part of the series is we're going to talk about the worst jobs. We're going to be talking about more additional jobs in the next series. So this one right here is first jobs and best job.
okay.
Right. So this is his third first job that he's going to talk about.
Well,
I had three first jobs.
you only have one first job.
Dude, the first job I had was so successful. I was so successful at it. I decided to get another first job. And then once I figured out how to put the cheese on the burger, I'm like, damn, I'm good at these jobs.
So that we don't confuse the listeners, today we're going to be talking about the first century of jobs that we had. Everything from the 80s to the 90s is the first job.
Yeah, but I know. But he said his first job was paperboy, and then he went into McDonald's. So
Because you asked him. You asked him what was your next job.
oh
Yeah, you fed him the question,
I
but it's
fed him
not.
the
It's not in
question.
the questions.
Oh. Hey, I'm going from the fly. You know what I mean? It's the Z-Man here going from the fly.
All right, so it's your
Hey.
turn. What was your first job?
Well, that's why we have to make a call in right now to my mother just to fax check this. So we're gonna give her a call.
Mama loves her baby.
So we'll be talking to
We're not going to be able to hear her unless you put her up there.
Samantha Ravenscroft.
We're not going to be able to hear her unless you put her up to the mic.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just seeing if she'll pick up. Hello, Mom. So you're on a podcast right now, and we're talking about my first job. So I'm thinking that my first job was when I did a Pampers commercial for you. Did we actually finish that commercial, and did I get paid?
I don't remember about being paid, but you did finish the commercial.
Okay. And then what was after that that would be another commercial job that I did, or was it not until I was a teenager doing the modeling?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Well, we're fact checked, confirmed.
Right.
She's like, you worked right.
All right, Mom.
What was your first job?
A trainee post person.
For a newspaper?
No, carrying. I was carrying the mail.
You were
Big bag.
you were a mailman?
A male woman.
A male woman, and I was 15.
Wow.
And they gave me a bag that was too heavy, so I dragged it on the ground. The next thing I saw was a bus, so I leapt on the bus.
You delivered the mail on the bus?
No, I just got on the bus to go back to the post office and say, "This is not for me."
You quit on your first day?
You quit on the first day, Mom?
Yeah.
That's great. This was in the UK, right?
Yes. This was in Eastbourne, Sussex.
So did you get paid for your half a day?
I'm sure it did.
So when you quit that job, did you get another job?
Yes. This was when I was home from college. A group of us all did things together. And so the next thing was planting Christmas trees.
Wow.
Really?
Little baby, went on a big truck in the morning.
Wow. Wow, that's great. I would have never imagined that. That's kind of, I didn't even think of that as a
And
job.
then-
I mean, it makes sense, right? But
Absolutely.
And then I did pick strawberries,
wow.
Did you eat them while you were picking them?
probably.
So did they take that out of your paycheck?
No.
So did you grow up around farms, or did you have to travel to the farms?
No, they took us on this truck.
Wow.
And it was just outside the town where I lived, which was Eastbourne, Sussex.
Still, that's awesome. I had no. You were a mail carrier. Wow. I never knew that.
Mail carrier that didn't carry them for
Didn't carry the
carry
mail.
the mail.
Very good. A mail carrier that did not carry the
In
mail.
the bottom of the bag.
I almost want to make a T-shirt of that. Find an old picture of you and then have a AI add a mail bag being dragged behind you. It's kind of like that picture with the famous picture of the kid on the beach and the dog is pulling the pants down. Except instead of the dog, it'll be the bag pulling behind you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, pulling little boys' pants down.
Yep.
Right, but now it can be the mail, and it's just like, I didn't deliver.
The reason Santa didn't get your letter.
It was too darn heavy.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Bag.
Thanks for calling in, Mom. We really appreciate that. So we'll talk to you soon.
I never would have imagined, you haven't met her, but I never would have imagined her as working on a farm.
Or a mail carrier.
Yeah. Well, I'm blown away. It just proves you can't judge a book by its cover, right?
You never know where people come from.
Yeah, because
You
she's
really
so
don't.
prim and proper. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, and I just couldn't imagine. I mean,
Apparently,
my dad.
after one day, she couldn't imagine it either.
Or 1 hour. Or half a day.
I don't think we can beat that one, but let's try. Okay, so first job that you got.
That I got myself?
Yeah, first job that you went out and got. That's what we're doing here. These are jobs that we went out and got.
We acquired.
Oh, okay. So there's a place in Watch Hill called The Kitchen. And basically in 1938, hurricane just destroyed all these houses on Napatry and threw everything into the water. So they call it the kitchen because there's like kitchen sinks in there and everything. So all these tourists will come in and they'll park their boats, right? So I said to my dad, I'm like, I want to go to...
So wait a second. So the kitchen was a dock?
No, the kitchen was a bay. They called it the kitchen because of all the stuff.
Watch Hill Bay, you're talking about.
Watch Hill Bay, or outside of Watch Hill Bay, on The inside of
The
Napa.
Bayside.
Yeah, the inside.
Bayside.
Yep, the Bayside, inside Napa Tree.
Okay, because at first when you were talking about it and you were saying the storm, I thought this was a place that sold everybody's kitchen sink that got blown away. You know?
No.
It's like a thrift store. This one flew into the
Back
sky.
in the 80s, I sold kitchen sinks to people who lost their homes in the 30s.
Yeah, and every time there's a tornado, they open a new location.
No. So I saw an opportunity to make money, and I said to my dad, I'm like, all right, I want to get up early. Would like you to take me to Best Eatin' Donuts. I'm gonna get a couple dozen donuts. I'm gonna get boxes of coffee.
Best Eaton's been around that long?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So I'm gonna get a couple boxes of coffee. I'm gonna get the newspaper and a bunch of newspapers, and I'm going to drive out on the boat and go from boat to boat and sell my stuff.
So basically, you were a newspaper boy as well, but you were a boat boy.
So you had a little dinghy you were driving around in.
No dinghy. It was a 22-foot Mako that I would just,
Okay.
I think he beat your bicycle.
So you think.
Yeah, right.
You never saw me ride it.
Hey, it could have been a tricycle, right? With the chrome rims. And
I had a bell, okay?
Did you have the fringe off the handlebars?
Did your boat have a bell?
No, it had a horn.
See?
It had
You
a horn.
win.
No, it had a horn. It had a foghorn. Oh. Sometimes I did that once, and I kind of got like frowned upon because I think they were still sleeping, and I was just trying to get people to like
Wake up.
buy stuff.
Did
So I
you?
just went wah wah, and people came up and
Care for
most
a
were
donut?
pissed off.
the missile alarm, and they come out. And I was like, oh my god, what is it? It's like, would you like a donut?
Yeah,
$2, please.
exactly. So I would take all that money and I would stick it into the gas tank of the boat.
You would think you would put gas in the boat. Wouldn't that run better?
Yeah, but there was only a certain amount in it. So then,
So you use the money in the gas tank so that you could put less gas in it?
no. I would start off with a certain amount. My dad would say, "All right, I'll put this much into the donuts. I'll put this much into all the you know."
So your operating expense basically was the full amount of money that you were making?
And I was old. It was
Oh, I misunderstand. So basically, you were earning money so that you could use the boat and go out and do your... okay, I misunderstood.
Exactly. So there's a place called Sandy Point off of Watch Hill, and it's like a sand. No, what do they call that?
It's a tiny little island.
Yes. It's a sandbar. There we
Yeah.
go. So I would go back in. I'd pick up all the girls. I would pick up mainly the girls and get one other guy or two other guys.
Yeah, you guys got to swim. We'll catch you. We'll meet you out there. throw out some of what are those things that the skiers hold on to?
Yeah.
Throw them in the back of the boat.
Exactly. You can ski to the island. You're not sitting in here. So we would cruise out to Sandy Point, and I'd drop off all the girls, and they would just suntan, and then the guys would just like wakeboard and inner tube, and then some of the girls would get daring. So then we would put like 3 to 4 people on an inner tube, and we would just cruise as fast as we could, and then I would cut the wheel, and it would go, and the people would just boom, 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 and they'll just like fall off in every direction.
And this is why, as a teenager, I'm surprised we survived. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I got a boat license at like 14.
Oh, I'm telling you,
But
man.
I don't even think I had a license.
Probably not.
No.
No one cared back then.
No one
right?
cared a damn back then.
Nope. So, did you make any money or just gas money?
Eventually, I think I upped the prices and made
All right.
some money.
Nice.
You know, but I still put it into the boat. They got fishing rods or, a new line, some new skis.
Yeah.
For water skiing. I mean, water skiing was fun then. What was my other first job? Well, there's only really one first. But I would say my second job.
Second first job.
My second first.
Well, actually, technically, he's right, because I remember I had 2 jobs my first job. So technically, I had 2 first jobs. Started at the same time.
Okay, all right. So my second job, we had a pond behind our house.
Okay.
And there'd be turtles, painting turtles, bullfrogs, snakes, and all this stuff.
And you were barbecuing them and selling them to the neighbors?
We would catch them and bring them to the pet store, and we would sell them to the pet store.
Wow.
The painted turtles, the bullfrogs, snakes.
And
The snakes suck though, because
a
you
ne-
get bit sometimes, and we didn't know if they were water moccasins or But
I'm
eventually,
telling you.
I would put like barbecue gloves on. So
How'd you catch the snakes?
you would take a stick.
He would
My
go out
grandfather.
to the water and wait till they bite on, and then come back. Come here, Sneaky, Sneaky. Oh, I got one.
A snake that got a snake.
I'm feeling a little woozy here.
So what I think it was my grandfather and my uncle told me is you take a stick, and if it had a fork in it, you would put the fork right over the top of the snake's head, and you jam the fork into the ground. And then he can't move. His back of his head and everything's moving and everything. You need to grab that son of a bitch right behind the neck, and you can just hold him as tight as you could. And he might go this way or this way or this way. If he did, you just smack him in the head. Smack him in the head.
And that would
it
would that kill him or
no? It would kind of
just put him
daze
in a coma.
Yeah, and then it'd be easier to sell.
Dead?
No,
So
not
in a coma.
dead. I don't
In a
think I
coma.
could.
He's just sleeping right now. And we sell you this snake for $5. He's sleeping. Be quiet. We don't want to wake him up.
And we wonder why Mother Nature hates us so much. Like I'm delivering food and I get attacked by turkeys at least once a month. And what's pissing them off? Now I know. Brad had apparently been here at one time.
One time I remember we had this giant gardener snake right in the yard. And I wanted to catch him and sell him. I don't know.
Most people want pets.
Talking about pets, I had gerbils. And I was living in New York, and we were living way up, 30th floor or something like that. And my, what would you call her? Babysitter. Forgot and left the window open. So I called my gerbils, Batman and Robin.
So they went on a caper?
Well, yeah, but hence didn't we know that gerbils don't fly. So they got out of the cage and they walked up to the edge and they probably looked at each other and go, not too bad.
We
Let's
hate this cage. We're jumping. We're ending it right now.
We're done. I'm done. Batman? Yes, Robin. Let's try it.
And that's when Batman learned that he doesn't have depth perception.
It turns out he wasn't wearing his utility belt.
Exactly.
Why are we still falling, Batman?
Use the utility belt.
This is laundry day. I didn't bring it with me.
Splat.
I've seen some videos of cats and dogs jumping off like the third floor like crazily.
Yeah,
and
we
just
said
getting up and
20th
walk
or
away.
30th.
Oh, yeah.
30th floor, 35th floor. I mean,
Gerbil ain't gonna survive.
My secretary, right? Her brother had Down syndrome, and they had a cat. They lived on the 5th floor, so the cat used to hang out in the window. And one day he's walking through the kitchen, and the cat's in the window, and he just goes.
Oh shit!
Falls out the window. So the cat, little dazed, he survived or whatever. And then 2 weeks.
The 3rd floor?
The 5th floor. And then 2 weeks
That's
later,
impressive.
the cat is in the window again.
Oh my god!
So she
Didn't learn his lesson.
Yeah, so she said this time the cat was all messed up. His eyes
Eyes are rolling back in his head.
So they decided to put a lock on that window.
That's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad.
So like my jobs, my first jobs because I had 2 jobs and then I got 2 more jobs after that. So
But you did 2 jobs at once.
Yeah, because
So that's like dating 2 women at once. How the hell did you pull
Double
that
dipping.
off?
So one taught me customer service and all that. That's working at the bowling alley. Okay. The second one, I was building computers and I worked for the company that invented shareware. So I learned how to not.
So you're 14 years old and you're building computers.
Yeah, I was building computers, and this is back before they had plug and play. So you had to like put in the dip switches and all that stuff. You had to put codes in to use a computer back then.
Well, that blows our jobs away. He's over there selling donuts. He's waking people up selling donuts.
Who wants a donut?
I'm throwing newspapers into doors while Doberman pinchers are attacking me.
And then you got
And you're building computers.
Yeah, you got Odd Kid building computers. No wonder he handles all our tech for our
I got
podcast.
to be honest honest,
Absolutely.
there was a lot less girls on my island. That's for sure.
I'm sure.
But we had a lot of porn. That's for sure.
Oh man.
We did shareware, and one of the shareware games that we did was Leisure Suit Larry. Do you know that game?
No.
what was
you
that?
Tell.
Basically, it was a guy who would, hook up with strippers and stuff like that, and his missions were very adult. Like, for example, he would hook up with a girl, but she wanted condoms, so you had to go find condoms or whatever, and you would go into these adventures and all that. It was an adult video game. It was, and I mean, it was very low graphics or whatever, but Leisure Suit Larry had, it lasted all the way up until the Xbox, the PlayStation. Back when video games first started, they weren't for kids; they were for adults. So, I mean, this is definitely not for kids, right?
Saga.
Yeah, alcohol, drugs, whatever, everything.
Magna cum laude.
Leisure Suit was I mean, they even had like, oh, this is the funny part. So when they did sex scenes, like when you finally we're gonna have sex with somebody, instead of showing the act, it would cut to like shots of missiles launching and fireworks going off and all.
Oh my God.
We did what's called shareware. So back then, you couldn't just go online. There was no internet to sell your game. So we would make one level versions of the game, make hundreds of copies on like
Floppy disk.
a floppy disk, and then we would snail mail them out to people.
How would they find out about it?
We would snail mail them. We'd have mail lists. So back then, it was the same way they do it now, just cold mail. We'd mail them to everybody. And then what would happen is if they wanted it, they could dial into a BBS, which was like
Their own
pre-internet.
server? Kind of like a server?
Kind of, yeah. There was no World Wide Web, but you could dial into a computer, super insanely slow, and download the game. And when I say slow, it would take you like 2 days to download this game. And this is where you made money. So when they would download the game, they had to pay for the time on the server. So the longer it took to download the game, the more money we made.
Okay, so you give away the product because you're making money on the
server.
back end.
Yep, on the back end, right. I'm pretty sure McDonald's worked there too, yeah. So and then my other job was I lied about my age to work at a bowling alley at a cafe, and it's where I learned how customer service and all that. And I also learned how many different toppings you could put on French fries, and it wasn't that bad. Like I would it's because I was poor, so I could afford one French fry, but the toppings were free. So I would put cinnamon and mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard and everything I could find on top of it to make it
up on toppings.
That's exactly right. and actually, this was something that me and my dad. So my dad was sometimes, he only lived on disability. Sometimes he was extremely low on money. So we would go to the gas station that sold 2 hot dogs for $1, and then we would load up as many condiments as possible as we could on it, so we could, we could eat. That was dinner sometimes. And once a month, we would go to Burger King, and I would order a chicken sandwich. And back then, I don't know if you guys remember, back then the chicken sandwich was fancy, and they would cut it in half.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was like rich people food to me.
And it had fries with it.
Yep. And that was rich people food to me. And then when I got older in high school, like when Taco Bell started telling tacos for $39, $49, $59, you remember that? Mm-hmm. I lived like a king. I think it's where I gained all my weight. It's because I was ordering, the 5 tacos or the 7 tacos. It was only like $2.99.
Nice.
But yeah, but my reason for getting the jobs might have been different than yours. So, I got jobs based on my interests. So I wanted to learn about computers. So I specifically hunted down a computer shop that was willing to hire a kid, to learn about them. And I wanted, I loved being at the bowling alley, but I couldn't afford to bowl all the time. So I got a job there so I could get my bowling for free.
And then would they give you fries for free?
No, never. I always had to pay for it.
So my son makes about $600 to $800 on a weekend doing lemonade stand.
I'm gonna steal
That
his
spot?
stand.
No, hell no. So
Just warning you ahead of time. It's gonna happen.
you said something. Somebody said something about a gang or something.
Right.
What is it?
The Westerly Lemonade Gang.
What?
It's a thing.
It's a thing?
Oh yeah.
Really?
When we find out that there's other people on our turf,
Really?
we go after them.
Why? Are you guys union or something?
We don't have to be union.
Are you-
We're a gang.
Are you guys-
think the Bloods and the Crips are union?
Are you guys
Oh,
connected
no.
to the Girl Scout gang?
Yeah.
Well, we have a few connections with the Boy Scouts. Okay.
Yeah,
We haven't infiltrated the Girl Scouts yet.
Because the other day I saw these Girl Scouts come in and they brought their table in. And they pushed this old retired veteran out that was sitting there collecting, money at the door, and they pushed him all the way to the other side to where nobody would see him anymore. And every time he tried to scoot closer, the girl would be like,
So to sell something and be a hustler, like to hustle, you got to have a gimmick or something.
Absolutely.
Right? So, from Halloween we have all these different costumes at our house. So I told my son, I'm like, well, put the Bumblebee costume on. He's like, heck no, Dad. No, that's weird. That's I'm gonna look like a goofball. So I said, all right, let's do a test. Let's see you sell some lemonade without the bee costume and see how many you do in an hour. And then the next hour, we're going to put the bee costume on and see how many you do in an hour then. So without the bee costume, he did all right, did decent. No big tips or anything.
How much does he get for a glass of lemonade?
$2.50.
And does it come in a cup?
Yeah, a small cup.
Like how many ounces?
Like a Dixie cup.
Okay, like 12 ounces.
Probably
Maybe
less.
eight.
Maybe
8 ounces.
Maybe
you want to
5.
see his books? Or are you going to audit this?
maybe.
Are you taking notes for your
before
stand?
I take over the stand, before the hostile takeover, could I see the books, please?
After the podcast, he's going to be calling up all of his family looking for who's got a new kid. I need a kid for this weekend.
So
I know this stand on East Avenue.
So
you got a 2-month-old and be like, she's selling lemonade. You don't want to disappoint her; she'll be upset.
yeah, exactly. So he could pull that. He's older now, but he could pull that whole cute kid thing. So for that hour he made decent money and average, but he didn't get any big tips or anything. And then the next hour when he put the bee costume on, what he made in that hour, he made within the first 15 minutes or more. And you get $5 tips, $10 tips.
Do you think they were giving him money so he could get a better costume?
I don't know, but it worked.
They felt bad. They felt bad.
No, like I told him, it's marketing.
How good was the costume?
It was pretty good.
All right.
It had the antenna, had the antennas, it had the little bee thing on the back.
I think this is a challenge. I think we should put you out there with a bee thing, with a bee costume, and see if you sell any lemonade.
I am taking notes.
I want to put SDR on East Avenue.
Yeah. What we're gonna do is
we're in a bee
I am
costume.
so down with
we're
that.
gonna put Z-Man.
I am down with it.
We're gonna put Z-Man on one side of the street wearing this, and you're gonna be on the other side of the street wearing the bee.
Yes, yes, but I'm gonna win because I'm wearing a yellow costume.
It's gonna be like the whole McDonald's thing all over again. It's like, how much did you make? $1. You win.
I made $1.
So within an hour, we need to see who can pull off and make
So I have a question. If someone actually calls the loony bin and they take one of you guys away, does that count towards a bonus of any kind?
No.
Extra points given.
Extra points given?
That's when I'll tell you the number of the bank account to get us out. All right, but that's a challenge. I'm challenging.
That is a challenge.
I'm challenging SDR on this podcast to wear the bee suit, and I'm going to wear the hip hop suit, and we're going to see in an hour or 2 hours?
1 hour is good.
1 hour. Who's going to make the most money?
And you guys,
I accept that challenge.
And to help,
But hold on a second. You cannot pre-promote. You can't go on Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm going to be on East Avenue at this time selling lemonade. Come and get some."
yeah, but the cops might be checking you out for prostitution or
I'm
something.
gonna,
You post
I'm
something
gonna be
like that.
advertising 50% off my lemonade stand on Facebook.
No,
Oh man!
I don't even have a Facebook.
No, you
page.
gotta-
I am just kidding about.
You
got to
think marketing. So you're going to be wearing a bee costume.
Yep.
So you're selling lemonade with a taste of honey, right?
Oh.
And he's got the b-boy thing here. So he's going to be selling lemonade with a little bit of cocaine.
with a tiny little spoonful of cocaine.
No. Mine's,
Addicted by the first sip.
why is my line so big?
Why
gets all the
why are they
customers.
trading you TVs for a cup?
Oh,
This is one of them CRVs.
No, mine will be seltzer polar seltzer mixed with lemonade. So I have a little spike.
And
to
you know
it.
what? It's all about branding, even if it has nothing to do with the drink, right? So I'm gonna open a stand too, and I'm gonna put vegan lemonade.
Okay.
You're gonna open one also?
Yeah, but
You're gonna do vegan?
What side of the street are you going to be on?
Oh yeah, right. Are you gonna be in the middle, like right down the middle?
yeah. But get this though. They're gonna buy it because it's vegan lemonade, but there's no such thing as not vegan lemonade.
It's all vegan.
Wait, they're gonna buy it anyway.
They're gonna buy it.
Or no,
It's vegan and gluten free
and organic. Don't forget organic.
No corn at all in this lemonade.
Man, he's gonna beat us. I don't know.
I don't know. I like
Who's
my
what?
odds with the bee costume.
Oh, no.
I know who's getting arrested first though, because they're gonna be like, "There's no kids with
the
you."
dude in the middle of the street is getting arrested first.
because it's vegan, I can charge more, and then I'm gonna have the
Charge
zero
$1
calorie
more.
lemonade, and it's just gonna be water.
with a small slice of lemon. And that's it.
Zero with lemon flavoring. I just bite it and blow while they're drinking it.
Oh my God! All right,
Extra
so you're
flavor.
hearing it here. It's got Odd Kid, Z-Man, and SDR. It's a 3-person challenge that we're going to challenge because it's the summer, and we're each going to do a different lemonade. So I'm going to do the Bebop Boy lemonade. I got my suit on right now. You know I'm hip. And I'm going to do...
Get high on lemonade.
You're only hip if it's hip to be square.
Oh, snap. So I'm going to do...
And every time you sell one, you got to break dance.
Oh,
You got to do the robot.
All right, that's fine. But what the heck is the bee costume going to do? He's going to go... Bzzz. He's got to fly around.
Every time you sell one, you got to vibrate.
I'm gonna go buzz in my honeycomb.
Oh, man. And what about you, Mr. Vegan?
All I got to do is give him a flower.
Oh, that's lame.
Hey, that's all vegans get. They can't really
You know,
move.
sunflowers are in season right now. If you gave everybody a sunflower,
They give you $5
for every cup of lemonade, you would definitely win.
Yeah, but I think that the
man.
cost to do business would be too high.
It would. At the end of the day, he'd be like, "Oh, I lost $12."
All right, so we have to put an ad on
Who
Craigslist.
still uses Craigslist?
What?
Who uses Craigslist still, except for suicidal
People dressed in 80s
serial killers.
A bee suit, and an 80s bebop suit.
So
Right, that's who uses Craigslist.
So
No, it's actually just for jobs. Like I'm looking for a housekeeper there. But I don't know what they're going to do, if they would steal everything, rob the house, come back. I don't know. Anybody know of a housekeeper? Anybody out there that's listening to this in Westerly, I'm looking for a housekeeper.
I'm looking for a job. How much do you pay?
we don't have any jobs. We can't afford a housekeeper. Oh yeah, he can clean toilets.
Oh, boy.
I could, I don't know if I'd clean his toilet. I usually have employees that do that. Maybe
gonna
you
delegate
could,
that?
Maybe you could hire me and I'd subcontract
Hey,
it
there
out.
you go. No, you can put out a job, right? But it's one day on the job. What do they call it?
Training?
Yeah, it's not training. Like they don't pay you. It's called
Intern.
Internship.
not intern. It's a working interview.
Okay.
So you put out an ad for a working interview. They have to clean your house, and at the end you're gonna go,
Nah.
just not working out. Do you have any friends?
Not really up to par. Know anyone else that would want the job?
Okay,
Are
so
you guys going to dare me to do that? I might do that.
No,
a
I
working
doesn't-
interview.
That is a great idea.
A working interview?
I like it.
you know what? I think it'd be better if it wasn't even his house. So they gotta clean his neighbor's house, and if they do a good job, then they can clean his house.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the neighbor would love that.
We learned a lot today about our first jobs, about the job market today. Let us know in the comments about your first jobs, and maybe we'll give you a shout out in the next episode. This is Pocket23. Like and subscribe. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
I'll add one thing to that. If it's cool, we'll call you and talk to you.
Wow.
That's the Z-Man out.
Just before we go out, I'd like to have your phone number and your stats.
Drink Poland Springs.
By the way, do you need a babysitter?
Oh, no. Scary.